Alright guys, I'm back with my weekly manga review video for Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece. And I really thought One Piece had a great chapter this week. A really cool fight with Law and Virgo. Bleach had some great comedy too, and Naruto had some decent action, but there was a few things I didn't really care about in this week's chapter of Naruto. So starting with Naruto 611 arrived. The chapter left off last week with Killer Bee throwing this giant Bijudama at the Jubi, and this week he throws it into the eye of the Jubi, but the Jubi just flicks it away like it's nothing. It actually hits Bee and obliterates him. I mean, he's destroyed by this. Naruto actually gets hit by one of the Jubi's tails, but of course he's a clone, so he just disappears, takes no damage. And Kurama and the Eight Tails actually have to go back in to get more chakra. They can no longer fight. And Obito says Naruto reminds him a lot of himself when he was younger. And I'm thinking, no, please do not turn Obito into a good guy at this point in the story. This would be terrible. The villains have been completely destroyed in this war by the good guys who have suffered no casualties. They've just rolled right over the bad guys. And for Obito to turn into a good guy at this point in the story, with all the terrible things he's done, for him to turn into a good guy because Naruto reminds him of himself would just be horrible. So I'm really hoping Kishimoto doesn't do this. I'm really afraid that would happen. We've seen it, and that would just be the worst thing that could happen. Madara definitely won't turn into a good guy, but they need Obito. And the Shinobi Alliance finally arrives. Not just one or two teams at a time, all at once. All the teams arrive, including the medical team, the sensing team, all at once. So that was kind of funny, but it was cool to see Naruto standing there with the Shinobi Alliance behind him, getting ready to fight Obito, Madara, and the Jubi. But I'm really afraid Kishimoto's going to turn Obito into a good guy, and he needs if he is going to do that, he at least needs a better reason. So anyways, that was Naruto this week. Bleach chapter 518, the Shooting Star Project Zero Mix. This one starts off pretty funny with Khan having this broadcast of Urahara. So it was Urahara that we heard at the end of last week's chapter talking to Ichigo. And he tells Ichigo that they're fine in Hueckmundo. Didn't show Oshida for some reason, but the team is fine. And the person who saved them hears Ichigo and goes to talk to him, but it doesn't show who it is. And I personally think it's Grimmjow, but it didn't show it. It just, the way it came across, that's who I think it is. But yeah, that was kind of interesting. And Ichigo decides to go to the Soul Palace because they can't fix his sword, but he can get a new one there. So they decide he's going to go to Soul Palace with them. And to get there, he has to go to Shiba. So Shiba arrives after all these chapters. She's back finally, and she blasts them off to Soul Palace. And Ganju shows up and says Ichigo's gone, and she says, yeah, we had to send him away in order to save Soul Society. And she tells him to go continue his training, and we see he's training with the Fullbringers. Ginjo, Tsukishima, and Giriko. They're all training together, and I'm glad it's those three, because the first two, obviously, are the big names from the Fullbringer arc. But I'm glad Giriko is there too, because I thought he had a really cool power being able to control time, and we didn't really get to see any of it. Zaraki just kind of killed him immediately. So I'm glad he's back. And Ganju is going to go train with these guys, and Shiba tells him that he needs to be prepared to fight. So of course we're going to see those guys in the future, which is really awesome. And Ichigo finally arrives at Soul Palace. So next week should be a really cool chapter. We're going to get to see Soul Palace, get to see what's going on there. We still have the mystery of who is with Urahara and Hueckmundo. I still think it's Grimmjow. And just all types of stuff going on in Bleach. So this was a cool chapter. And Shiba returned. So on to One Piece chapter 690, Sad. Cover story is Karabo being taken care of by an old lady after he's shipwrecked. Luffy is talking to Caesar. Caesar's still telling him, I'll give you one more chance, even after he punched him in the face. You do not want to mess with Don Quixote. Of all people, he controls everything in the underworld. And then he tries to blast Luffy with this beam of fire or something. that can melt steel, and he misses, and he's still trying to talk to him like, you really don't want to fight me because you're going to bring down the wrath of Don Quixote. So Luffy punches him again in the face. It shows all the Straw Hats scattered around. Usopp runs into some of Caesar's soldiers. I think Kinemon and Brook are running into a room full of poisonous gas. And then we see this really cool fight with Virgo and Smoker. And Virgo just destroys Smoker. He's got that armament hockey on his bamboo stick. And he just whacks Smoker in the stomach with it. Breaks Smoker's little weapon thing. And just takes him out. But Smoker was able to get Law's heart back, which was his plan. So Law has his heart back, and he's ready to fight Virgo. And Virgo has one of the Din Din Mushies in his pocket that Don Quixote's seeing everything from. And Law tells Don Quixote he's about to lose his right-hand man because he's going to kill Virgo right here. And Don Quixote just laughs. And he brings up how Virgo's defeated Law in the past. And he can't stop Virgo. And we see Virgo turn into this, it was very much like Colossus from the X-Men. He just turns into this gigantic, steel-looking hockey armament body. And Don Quixote is just laughing about this. And Law immediately cuts Virgo down. Cuts him in half, cuts the sad chemicals, the entire factory, cuts it in half. And then we see a panel from the outside. He cut the entire mountain in half. Not one mountain, but multiple mountains. He's cut all of them in half with one swing. This was so badass. A really, really cool fight here. Well, I can't really even say it was a fight because it was one swing. And Don Quixote was laughing the entire time. And then Law tells Don Quixote that Whitebeard was the end of that era. This is a new era. And it's time for him, the Straw Hats, and everybody else, all the rookie pirates, to take over now. And Don Quixote can't stop them. And then it shows the last panel is Don Quixote's face, and he's frowning. He's pissed off now. So things are really, really heating up here in One Piece, because this is definitely, I had a feeling this arc would be important and be a really powerful arc, kind of like when Kuma sent all the Straw Hats flying. So I really expect some major, major stuff to happen here, and this was just a really cool fight with Law just cutting down everything. So really great stuff here. And anyways, that was One Piece this week. So some good chapters. Looking forward to next week's with the Shinobi Alliance has arrived. Bleach has Ichigo at the Soul Palace. And One Piece, who knows what's going to happen now. All I know is Don Quixote's pissed off, and that can't be good for anybody. So that's my review of this week's chapters. Hope you guys liked the video. Leave your thoughts on this week's chapters in the comments, and thanks for watching.